All right, so I'm just learning about this indicator at the bottom, the RSI, Relative Strength Index, and it shows a range primarily between 30 and 70. Once you hit the 30 mark, your asset is oversold, which is to say it's run out of selling energy. And conversely, when you hit the 70 mark, it's overbought, so it's run out of buying power. Ran up too fast, and it's going to have to recover a little bit before it can keep powering forward. So I don't know much about this. I just popped it onto TradingView. This is the Bitcoin USD daily chart, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it and back testing it to see how it works as a guide for when it might be a good or bad time to buy. So we look at this run up and it hit this peak here at, wow, a whopping $315 per Bitcoin. And we're over 70 on the RSI. So this is danger zone. You're about to lose your profits. So once we crossed into here, I would set a stop limit for, negative 10 or 15 or 20%. And so at this point, 312, let's say I do negative 10%. If it hits, what? Can't do math right now. 280, then my sell trigger will pop. And so right around here, it automatically sells. So I've at least preserved my profits. I didn't quite save the top, but that's fine. So the RSI kind of does its thing, and then it crosses 30 again, signaling maybe it's a time to buy. So if I were to buy right on this candle, I would have gone up and then I would have shot back down below 30 again. That would have hurt a little bit. But then Bitcoin kept recovering. And so even if I had bought at this slightly not ideal candle, I would have still had this ride moving up, moving up, moving up. And so here again, I would set about a 10% stop loss just to be safe because we're over 70. I don't think this candle, this negative candle, was big enough to pop a 10% sell. So I would continue the ride. And each day as this goes on into scary, 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 oversold, overbought territory, um, I'm just going to keep updating that 10% sell trigger. So maybe this candle fires. If I had set it at, again, we're at 328, so minus 30% would be 290-ish. Um, but doesn't look like that candle dropped enough. So I would still ride up, reset the sell trigger, reset the sell trigger. Now I'm at 411. My 10% sell trigger is minus $41. So that's at 370. It's falling, hasn't triggered yet. It's falling, hasn't triggered yet. Bam, 370, it sells. But I went from this red candle at 220 up to 370. And again, gave up a little bit at the top, but just followed the RSI signal. So I move, move, move. Now I'm just waiting for my next buy opportunity. So here's a dip. I would buy in, say, 363, and let's see where this takes us. Haven't crossed the RSI, hasn't gone above 70 yet, so I'm still just, the market's kind of sideways here. It's sideways, it goes up, and now it breaks out past 70 again. So again, I set my negative 10% sell trigger, and from 469, does it fall to 429? No. So my 10% trigger doesn't go. I keep riding, I keep riding, I keep riding. Now we're breaking out of 70 again. So I'm going to keep setting my sell trigger, but nothing's firing, nothing's firing, nothing's firing, nothing's firing. 768. So now it's got to fall to about 690 before my next sell trigger goes. And bam, now it triggers. So I just rode it from 362 to 690 just by following RSI. We go again. Here's our next buying opportunity. I get in at 545. It goes, it goes, it goes, it goes, it goes. And around here, I set up sell triggers again. Bam, it just popped. 692. I wait for my next buying opportunity. Maybe this triggers, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I miss this run up. Oh well, that's life. Waiting, 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 waiting. No good opportunities. So I am missing quite a bit here of this run up. Bam, there's another drop. So now that's my next buy in at 1936. And probably in this drop, we drop out. And again, it's signaling another buying opportunity at this point, which rides up and we start putting our sell triggers. And then this gets into kind of recent history. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like you'll miss some opportunities for sure, but damn, like for timing when to do the buy, RSI on the daily chart is looking really interesting. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this and kind of back test it with a couple other cryptos that I really like, um, and kind of want to experiment with making some more aggressive trades, more active trades. But yeah, RSI. I need to learn more about this, but in the little bit of research I've done just today, wow, this is kind of a really interesting way to give yourself some confidence that it might be the time to buy in. And actually, while we're here, let's look at the crash. So this is recent history. Even during these big plummets, RSI said, we're not oversold yet. It does its thing. We get more crashes, still not oversold. This big old crash here, still not oversold, but it's getting closer and closer and closer. And then finally at the bottom, the true bottom, yep, we're oversold. That's your time to buy. So even in recent history, we wouldn't have had to have guessed where the bottom was. Uh, RSI had that call, and now we're back on the way up. Crazy.